This is Robert with Patriotic Space and KWTF The Edge. What you're fixing to hear came from KWTF The Edge tonight, 11/12/2011, and some information that everybody probably ought to know. So kick back and take notes. And here we go. 12 right now. 12 right now.
12 right now.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we open up the floor to any questions on NBC protection? Since this is in the news, people might want some information, and or email. If you got an email, Robert, you use, email it.
That's what I've got to do. You've just reminded me. I need to transfer KWTF Studios to the dedicated server and then set up, I want to set up email addresses for, of course, the website for questions or whatever. I'd like to set one up for you so they could email you directly, and you don't have to give up any of your stuff. I'll just give that to you.
There you go. But if anybody has any questions about NBC stuff, I'd be happy to answer it, give you a little background. I have quite a bit of experience dealing with NBC. I was trained as an NBC officer. Been through college courses, has a minor in nuclear physics. Been involved in companies that produces radiation shelters. That was called Radius Engineering. Own one of theirs at an undisclosed location that called P10. So I've been studying the subject for years, learning new stuff about it every day, and so if anybody's got any questions, I'll help you wherever I can, and if I don't have the information, I know where to go to research it and find out.
Well, it's kind of quiet over there.
There you go.
Sitting here watching it, and nobody's really talking. Maybe they're listening.
All right. Well, let's talk about what a person should have as a minimum requirement for an NBC mop bag.
All right.
All right. First thing you'd want to have is a quality gas mask. Main military surplus carries a number of them. I recommend the Israeli military NATO. I believe they're calling it an M17 now mask.
Right.
Uses a standard 40 millimeter NATO NBC cartridge, which just also Main military happens to sell the Swiss NBC cartridge for a dozen for like $50. And the nice thing about the Swiss cartridge is it comes in a little plastic container, like an egg container, that you twist to open it up, and your filter's inside, so it makes it real easy, versus the U.S. military filters that comes in a tuna can. And the tuna can is the old style with the key that you pull off, and you got to turn it all the way around to release the filter.
Right.
But either one's good. Having multiple filters is good because depending on the field that you're in, whether it be a chemical, biological, or a nuclear field, the filters will load up. So a trick that we taught that everybody should have with their gear would be a package of coffee filters and some rubber bands. By taking a coffee filter and putting it around the front of the 40 millimeter cartridge and securing it with a rubber band, it will act as a pre-filter.
So
thus
the
extending.
original filter lasts longer.
Yeah, it just allows you to pre-filter anything you're breathing. If you're in a heavily contaminated field, you're most likely to receive an agent during a hot swap of the filter.
Right.
So the longer the period of time you can do between changing filters, the better off. Well, you can take that little paper coffee filter and change it several times, or just by moving it over, and now all of a sudden your collection port on the filter will be at a new place on that paper, thus allowing you even more time for the filter.
Right.
Rule number one, a mask is intended to get you out of a contaminated area. If you are in a contaminated area, you need to remove yourself from a contaminated area and then go through decontamination procedures to get you out of there. A mask is not intended for you to hold a position.
That's what my plan was in Dallas. If something ever happened there, all that mask was going to be for was getting the hell out and getting away from it.
As we used to call it in the military, when that happens, you need to de-ass your AO.
That's right.
So if something like that, yeah, that's what a mask and a mop suit is intended for. The next piece of gear you need to have is you need to have a hood for your mask. Now, with the Israelis' mask, if you look around, you'll find a USGI hood that's it doesn't have the eyepieces cut out and the mouthpiece that was for the old GI issue chipmunk cheeks mask, but it has an oval shape for the new design mask. Now that works very, very good with the Israeli mask. And gas masks, ApprovedGasMasks.com sells those hoods, and there's several other places. I have the nomenclature wrote down for the actual hood, but that hood is a necessary part. Because if you have the next thing we'll talk about will be a mop suit. If you have a mop suit that doesn't have a hood on it, it don't do you very good because you'll do absorptions of some chemicals through your scalp. So you need to keep that away from you. But the next piece of gear you want to look for would be a mop suit. Well, there's British suit that's in their the British DPM camo pattern. Again, Maine military has them available, probably several other people, but Maine has real good prices. The nice thing about the British DPM chem suit is that it has a built-in hood that works great with the Israeli masks.
Right.
So that eliminates you having to get the hood. Now, if you choose for the U.S. suit, the difference between the two, the U.S. suit is the size of an extra-large pillow that you'd have on your bed, so it's quite large. Now, the British DPM chem suits are, there you have the blouse in one bag, you have the pants in another bag, and they're shrink-wrapped down to, the two put together with the rubber bands about 5 inches high, 8 inches wide, by about 3 inches long. Takes up a lot less room. The next piece of gear you're going to need is chemical gloves. These come in two parts. They have a cloth inner lining glove with a long, black, heavy rubber glove for the outside. When you use these gloves, you want the rubber gloves to be underneath the blouse, the sleeves on the blouse, and then secure them tightly, but not to where it would cut off circulation to the uniform using duct tape. Then the next piece of gear you're going to want is either some chemical overshoes, they call them, and those are U.S. nomenclature. They look like a, the old rubber shoes that people would wear. They got these great big shoelaces, and they're made to go over combat boots. The size of them, if it says a size 10 and you wear a size 10, don't think you have to get them bigger. They are made to go over a size 10 or a size 14 or whatever. Same with the gloves. The gloves comes in multiple sizes, and just use your regular glove size. Now, though the chem overshoes are getting kind of hard to find, so Maine Military has the German chemical boots that's like a gouache. Works very well made, used to put over the top of your boot. And then again, take your pants down over the top of the boot, not shoved into the boot, but then again, use duct tape around the pants so that it's tied up against the boot, allowing it to be it. Now, all of this gear you should store in one bag. You'll see on eBay and stuff like that, they'll have NBC bags they sell in woodland camo. Those work fine if you don't have a U.S. suit, and they're just too small to hold all your gear.
Right.
So the best thing to do would be just go down and get yourself a regular old military duffel bag. Put all your gear in that bag as you are going to don them. So the last thing you're going to put on is going to be at the bottom of the bag, and the first thing you're going to put on is going to be at the top of the bag.
There you go.
So you'll want your gas mask and your gas mask bag with your spare filters, decontamination stuff over the top of the bag. And then you'll want your mop suit, and then your gloves, and then your boots. So, and that bag should be marked with your name and everything so that you know whose bag belongs to who.
There you go.
When you get a gas mask, the first thing you should do is never, never, never buy a place that says surplus mask. The new mask, the brand new unissued mask, are the same price as the surplus. First thing you do is when you get a mask, it comes in a bag with a twist tie on it, and that bag is for a certain reason. One, if you ever have to pass through a look or something, you don't want your mask getting soaked. So that bag keeps it from getting soaked. Also, go down to Walmart or someplace like that and get you a little bottle of armor oil.
A little bottle of what?
First thing
you broke up a little bit. A little bottle
of
what?
Armor oil.
Armor oil. Okay, go.
Yep. First thing you should do is when you get your mask, you take that mask out and you coat every piece of rubber on that mask with the armor oil. Now, there's there's a single strap that secures the mask to your head. Mm-hmm. What you want to do is you want to put that mask on and you want to fit the top strap, head strap, to fit you, and then tighten up the side straps and check your seal of your mask. You do that by placing your palm over the inlet where the 40 millimeter filter normally would be installed, and you suck in. If you can breathe or feel air coming in, you do not have a proper seal. Refit the mask until, if you have a beard or facial hair that will prevent the mask from sealing, I recommend you shave now.
Damn, I gotta shave.
Yep. You will not have time. You will not have time to shave when the Schumer hits the fan.
Right.
Now, that's your basic suit. Now, the last I heard from Cell.com that the chemical decontamination kits were told by Homeland Security that they could no longer be sold by the government. Why would they not want decontamination kits? So therefore, we have to get creative. So you're going to make your own decontamination kit, and it's going to require a trip to Walmart. Okay. What you want to do, you want to go down to Walmart and get some heavy 32-ounce bottles of drinking water. You know, that comes in the heavier bottles.
Right.
It don't matter the brand you get. And then you're going to want to go over to the linen department, and you want to pick up a package of white, regular, cheapo washcloths. 88 cents. Then mosey on over to where they carry the bleach and the cleaning products, and you'll want to look for unscented Clorox bleach. Now, you're going to go home with all of this, and you're going to open up one of those 32-ounce bottles, and you're going to take a measuring cup, and you are going to pour out 8 ounces of water into the cup, and you are going to replace the 8 ounces of water that you poured out with 8 ounces of bleach and recap it. You'll take that bottle, you'll store that bottle in your bag with a little thing of washcloths, and thus you have your NBC decontamination kit. That is all that's in the kits that they took off the market, was bleach and water.
So this is a hell of a lot cheaper than buying one anyway.
This is true. Now, this is a personal decontamination. Equipment decontamination is just the opposite formula. It is 75% bleach, 25% water. Now, if you have to hot swap a mask, what you're going to do is you clean the inside of your mask with the solution of 75% water, 25% bleach, and then you're going to take a new washcloth, you're going to wipe off your face where your mask is going to be connected to the mask, and then you will put your mask on. If you have to change masks for any reason, the mask, if you do the treatment with the Armor All when you get that mask,
right,
and put it back in the bag, you should only have to retreat that mask if you remove it from the bag every couple of years. What I do in my bag is I have a filter that's ready to go that's a capped commercial NBC filter. They're quite expensive. They're about $75 a filter, but it has a known expiration date, and it's in a plastic bag. I have that right with the mask, and then when I put the mask back in the bag, I'll fold the bag up so that I can suck the air out of the bag as much as I can, and then hold it tight and put that ring about it, and then I put a small detonant package in with the mask. Because when I pull that mask out, I want to be absolutely sure that that mask is not dry rotted on me.
Right.
So the Armor All will stop that from happening, and if you put it in an airtight bag as you can, and leave it in that airtight bag, only to take it out to do your periodic inspections. If you're buying any of these suits and you notice the package has been punctured, retaped over it with they usually come in brown or OD green bags.
Right.
And unscrupulous military places will put a piece of matching tape over it. That entire mop suit is garbage. You cannot use it. Once it's been opened, it's garbage. So if you see somebody selling an opened suit that's not in the original bag. The only thing it's good for is verifying that you have the proper size to fit you.
Okay.
Now, as with all mop suits, they are extremely large. If you normally wear an extra large and you get an extra large mop suit, it will be like a tent on you. It is made to go over an extra large person wearing full military in an M65 field jacket. So don't be scared of ordering a suit. If you have the money in your budget, it's recommended you order a couple of these suits. I would order 3, and I would open one and verify the sizing before I opened it up and realized that I got something that's too small that won't fit me.
Right.
If that ever happens, if you don't have a mop suit, the only real chance you have is you could use a poncho. Not the best in the world, but, you know, it's better than nothing.
Still need the duct tape.
Still need the duct tape. The duct tape is NBC's man's best friend.
That's right.
You will find more uses for that duct tape than an NBC field than you'll believe.
Well, that's just a sample of what goes on every night on KWTF The Edge at KWTFstudios.com and patrioticspace.com. Have a good day.